Let's bring him on right now. Would you please welcome Glenn Beck.
This is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to be willing to give when there's no more to give.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here again this year, and it's my prayer that I have some things to share with you today that I'll be clear enough to share them, and we'll go the direction the Lord wants us to go. But I want to talk to you a little bit about history. The reason why people who believe some of the things that we believe fail is we look at that word all wrong. We don't see the word story in the word history. We get bogged down, and even our schools get bogged down in the dates and the names and the memorization. History is just a great story, and in history we will find every answer that we need. This is my copy of the greatest story. This is my New Testament, and I will tell you that much to my shame in my life, I have always been somebody who just kind of skipped around the story. I know the story. I got it. But skipped around and read different passages. In the last 8 months or so, I've dedicated myself to read it from the beginning to the end. Read it from the beginning to the end. Read it from the beginning to the end. Don't stop. Don't skip around. Read it from the beginning to the end. And I have to tell you, more people should read this. This has everything in it you need. I said to my wife one night, I'm reading this, and I'm like, you know what? We could burn every school book. We don't need any school books. We have everything. You can learn everything you need in this one book. Why would you need anything else? It's great that we have history. It's great that we have mathematics, of course, everything. But all the important stuff is in here. And I just wanted to give you, I write in my scriptures a lot, and I decided to write my own summary for my children. And so I wrote a summary on what this book is. And I wanted to share it with you. This book is a book of revolution. It was written at a time when the world was ugly and brutal. Love and kindness and gentleness was not the norm, and all the rulers were rich and brutal and deadly. Freedom hadn't even been a thought yet. Life was short and ugly, but hope and light and a Savior had been promised. He came, but most only understood power of a king and power through the sword. This guy didn't want revenge or blood. Most people wanted that. Jesus didn't give it to them. He felt it was time for something simple, higher, and happy. The New Testament is simple. He was born, he lived, he practiced what he preached. He practiced what he preached. He healed and he made whole. My favorite story is when he's at the pool of Bethesda and he says, "Will you be made whole?" Think of that. Think of that in the context of Washington, D.C. Will you be made whole? Meaning you've sat there for 40 years. For 40 years, you've sat there waiting for something to happen. Waiting. Do you want to sit here more? Do you want to be that person? Because let me tell you something. If you say to me you want to be made whole, you know what's going to happen? You're going to actually have to now get up and get a job. You are now going to have to get up and get married. You're now going to have children. You're going to have responsibility. Will you be made whole? Most people will say, no, not really. He made people whole. He healed and he loved everyone, even all of the sinners, and even those who killed, scorned, and whipped him. The government, the wise, the scholars, the religious establishment, the wanton rich are lost and are lost together. Peace and love change everything because they change us He rose from the dead, conquered sin and death for us. So, the point of this book, love one another, especially those who hate you and persecute you. Serve all men. Obey the law, even if it is unjust, and if it is unjust, serve your punishment with joy. All is for our good. Speak love and only love and God's word. Endure. Do not judge one another's. Cleanse yourself first. Sing, pray, believe, exhort with love. Be peaceful, be humble. The tongue is a fire. You might want to keep it silent from time to time. Forgive, ask forgiveness, comfort, be meek. Do not love money, for money is a trap. Consume his word and model your life to that word. That's what this is about. How many of us actually take this now? How many people are there in the United States of America that don't even want to crack this book because it's been made something obscene? I saw a great bumper sticker that said, "Jesus, save me from your followers." Because it's been made obscene, because they don't practice what they preach. We don't practice what we preach. I urge you to see, there's this new movie out next weekend. What was it? The Good Lie. Go see The Good Lie. It's about people who are actually struggling. People who were in the Sudan and had to walk, children who lost their whole family and had to walk 1,000 miles, and then finally, after 15 years, arrive here. And then they meet Americans who have no idea what's going on. And we're bothered with all of these other things. The left was shocked last year when I said, I will gladly stand with even the members of GLAAD against heterofascism, where in Russia they were saying, we will kill those who are homosexual. I will gladly stand with GLAAD against that. I will gladly stand with anyone who says we have to stone adulterers, we have to stone homosexuals over in the Middle East. But instead, we are so wrapped up in what? We're wrapped up in, well, we don't have condoms for everyone. Why don't we talk about the real issues? We agree on so much. We agree in women's rights that women have a right to drive, for the love of Pete, and yet some of our allies don't agree with us on that. How about we work on some of the big issues, because it's becoming obscene, the things we're arguing about now. And we're arguing about them because we don't know our own history. Our children now have the scriptures on their phone. You can read it all the time if you want to. This is a Tyndale Bible. Page after page, smuggled in a sack of flour. Execution if you were caught with it. We have it on our phone. We have a book on our nightstand. We don't even pick it up. How the people just a couple of hundred years ago would have looked at this everywhere and said, oh my gosh, you must be the most righteous people. You must be the greatest people. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I know the story. I think I know the story. Do we know the story? Because people who claim they know the story have done amazing things. This is the testimony of a man who would not submit. He would not recant. This is the testimony of someone who went through the Inquisition in the name of Christ. How do we expect our Jewish friends, how do we really honestly expect our Jewish friends to really even want to hear the name Jesus when for centuries we walled people up and the last thing they saw before the wall came closed up around them or before they were killed was a crucifix in the name of Jesus Christ. If somebody came up to me today after the beheadings and said, hey, you've got to listen about Muhammad, I'd say, you know what, I don't think I'm going to listen about Muhammad right now. Thank you very much. We have to love people. Love people. This is for a young girl. It's an arrest warrant in the Salem witch trials. She was pregnant. And of course, the only way you can get pregnant is because you're a witch. She was arrested and burned at the stake because she was pregnant. And only witches do that if they're unmarried. All in the name of God. Because it's a misunderstanding. It's a misunderstanding. And it's our job to correct those misunderstandings. To look to the story and the facts of history and then get them right. Otherwise, the world spirals into darkness for a long time and you just don't know what to do. This is the microphone used by Tokyo Rose. Tokyo Rose, how many people know she was actually an American hero? A few. We think Tokyo Rose was a traitor. She wasn't. I added this to a museum that I'm hoping to take out on the road this summer. I got this about a year ago. It hadn't been plugged into a broadcast, to a transmitter, since I purchased it. Or since it stopped working for her, and then I purchased it, and we went in to try to fix it, and they were going to test it, and I said, no, wait. Nobody has said anything into this microphone since Tokyo Rose. Wait. I don't think the first word should be test 1, 2, 3. The next morning I plugged it in, not knowing if it would work. And what I said was, my name is Tokyo Rose, and you should know, I fought for America. I was wrongly accused by your government, my government. Tokyo Rose she was born here in America, and she was on vacation over in Japan. And then the bombing happened, and she got stuck, and she couldn't get back. And she begged to be let back, and then the Japanese forced her to broadcast. Now, there are like 5 of them, but the famous one is the American Tokyo Rose. She was stuck there. She said, I will not turn against my country. I will not do it. They forced her to broadcast. But what they didn't know is she was smuggling food and medicine into our POWs. What she didn't know is she was giving secret messages to our troops on islands as they were going to attack certain islands, and she would find out. She would say, by the way, if you're on such and such an island, boys, you might want to go to bed early because you might have a very early morning. And our soldiers would say, wait a minute, is she telling us? Is she telling us that they're going to come and bomb us? Yes. But what happened? What happened to Tokyo Rose? Tokyo Rose changed and became a villain because once the war was over, she just wanted enough money to come home to the United States. She was an American citizen. She wanted to come home, and she was waiting to tell her story. She was waiting to tell the story of the POWs that helped her write those broadcasts. But the media came in, and the media just wanted a good story. They wanted Tokyo Rose, get her! She told the story. They didn't like it. They wrote another story. She went to jail in Japan. She served time in Japan. Then she finally got out and had enough money. She came to the United States. Again, the media decided Tokyo Rose can't be here. This is obscene. And so the media, along with the government, because the government needed a good story, there were some bad things happening. They needed a good story. The most expensive trial in American history up to the point. She went to prison until finally enough of the POWs finally could get the word out and say, she is innocent. The government told us to lie. She's innocent. Gerald Ford pardoned her in 1976. There's much about our history we don't know. There's much about our history we misunderstand. And if we don't learn from history, we are doomed to repeat it. Sykes-Picot. This is the reason why we are having the problem in the Middle East today. Sykes-Picot. You don't know what it is? I urge you to look it up. It is the carving up of the Middle East by France and England. Right around the time of World War I. They promised the Muslim world a caliphate. We're going to get rid of the Ottoman Empire, but we'll give you a caliphate that will include the Levant. ISIS or ISIL. Levant. We'll give you an Islamic state and the Levant. Well, they're just cashing that check in now. In fact, ISIL, nobody cares to see. They have their own production company. They just did last week a new video that said the end of Sykes-Picot. It showed the Muslim terrorist walking across the border saying, see, we don't care about those western borders anymore. The end of Sykes-Picot. That's what's happening. And if you don't understand what Sykes-Picot is, if our media doesn't have the intellectual curiosity of what Sykes-Picot is and what these people really want, then they will behead all of us until somebody says, wait a minute, what is it they're really doing? And you have to have the courage to ask. This is the original letter from Neville Chamberlain. This is the letter from 10 Downing Street. This is the letter that he wrote after he met with Hitler, and he meets with the Hitler Youth. And the Hitler Youth said, you know what, we should do something great. And he meets all the Hitler Youth. Oh, you guys are great. A little spooky, but great. He talks about how he had just met the Fuhrer, and we have so much in common. And he says, our mutual interchange of visits has been very helpful. The understanding between nations is so essential to the settlement of differences and to the appeasement of the world. Neville Chamberlain. You cannot appease the world. You have to, with love, explain what the facts are. Hold to the truth. Know what the truth is. Hold to the truth. Occasionally, you might have to turn a table over. But you don't. But that's not where you start. In the end, if people don't hold to the truth, then you get to this place. Bonhoeffer was part of a plot to kill Hitler. This is the napkin from the assassination attempt. The blood stains and the holes. He survived. Bonhoeffer was part of this. Bonhoeffer was the biggest peace activist possible because he had nothing left. All options were gone. Why? Why did Bonhoeffer have to go here? Bonhoeffer had to go here because the German people's hearts had gone cold. The Lutheran Church was just telling the organist, turn the organ up, play louder, sing louder as the trains to Auschwitz went by. The heart went cold. Love must be sown in our hearts. We've got to cleanse ourselves from the anger, from the vengeance. Why did Judas Why did he sell out Jesus? I'm convinced he sold Jesus out because he wanted revolution. Everybody wanted revolution. They wanted this to end, and that's what the Messiah was promised. We were promised a David. We were promised a warrior king. That's not you. What are you doing? We want Barabbas. Barabbas wasn't just a murderer. He was a revolutionary. I'll get him. I'll kill him. I know what they did. I'll get him. That was Barabbas. Jesus was the other. Revolution through peace and love and harmony. How many of us would sit at a table now and say, I want a revolution of love? And how many of us would say, I want this to stop? Which spirit is leading you? Which spirit is leading all of us? I know just as much as you do. I'm mad as hell. My country is being squandered, is being stolen. Our values, what are our values anymore? What are they? For too many people, it's profit. I am the king of profit. I love profit. I love the capitalist system. I get it. I don't begrudge anyone from making money. You can spend that money any way you like. I will tell you, spending it on other people, investing it in people, sharing it because it's in your heart, that's going to open up doors for you and world to you that you never ever imagined possible. But if you want to be Scrooge, you'll have your night with Jacob Marley. Have at it. That's your choice. There's nothing wrong with the free market. There's nothing wrong with capitalism. There's nothing wrong with rich people. What's wrong are people who are so dead set on just being rich and holding on to their money. Let go. The whole world is about to change. Let go. What are you going to do with it? What is it going to be worth? Have you seen the debt clock? What's it going to be worth? It's worth something now. Put it to use. Right now, we are all in profit mode. Got to make the quarterly profits. Make the profit, make the profit, make the profit, make the profit. And after that, it's protect it. Protect it. Don't lose anything. Don't lose anything. Protect it, protect it, protect profit, protect it. Where do people come in? Where does the product come in? Why are we even doing the stuff we're doing? You get up in the morning. Why do you get up? Is it so you can make somebody money? Make yourself money? Maybe you get up because you have to make money because you got to put food on the table. You got to keep things going. You want to get your kids into school? Got it. But that's not really why you get up. You get up in the morning because you love your kids. You love your family. Those are our principles. We hold these truths to be self-evident. That all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We would have never won the American Revolution had we started that and taken the middle section and put it up at the top. And that's what we're doing. I'm tired of being against things. I am for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you're not, that's fine, but that's what I'm for. Too many of us are starting with the usurpations. Yes, but you have seen what the king has done? Let me tell you what the king has done. The king is quartering people in houses. The king is taxing us too much. That's not the Declaration of Independence. That's in there. But that's not the Declaration of Independence. If we want to be successful, we have to tell the story of who we are, of what we believe, those ideals that we all have in common. I don't care how you voted. Very few people want the country to be destroyed. Very few people that we actually know want the economy to go to the crapper. Very few people that we know want people beheaded. I can't tell you I know any. Very few people want another war. Some of the greatest warriors alive today. General, do you want more war? Nobody does. So let's stop the bickering back and forth and look at the big picture. We want peace. We want harmony. Let's be for something. Let's start telling the stories and setting things right for our children. I'll tell you a story of this guy. This is Charles Pomeroy Stone. I've never even heard of this guy. Charles Pomeroy Stone, one of the more maligned guys in American history. This guy, he was not necessarily a good guy. He was on the Union side, and he was actually very fond of slave owners. The Republicans didn't like him because of that. They didn't want somebody who was friendly to slave owners on their side. Now think about how screwed up the world is now that the Republicans look like the ones that love the slaves. They destroyed this man's life wrongfully because he was friendly to slave owners. And they used a battle called the Battle of Ball's Bluff. It was 1861. He wasn't even there, but he was the guy blamed for being there and screwing it up. Congress railroaded him so much they didn't even let him testify. He couldn't even enter anything. He served like 190 days in prison. By the time he got out, there was nothing left of his life. Nobody would hire him. He couldn't do anything. So he was really good at being a military guy, and so he put his services up for sale. Pretty soon he gets a call from the French. They're doing something over in Egypt. Can you help us? He's like, sure, I speak French. So he goes over and he helps the French. He works with the French for a while. Well, when he comes back, it's now late 1870s. Everybody still hates his guts. He still can't find a job. But he has something unique now. This guy has a skill that not a lot of people have. He can actually form teams. They know he can build things. They know he can form real big, complicated systems. And he speaks French. So he gets a call from the American Committee on Broadway. And they said, we got a problem. You speak French? Oui. All right, I know you're discredited and everything, but we don't know what to do. We've got these boxes of this giant statue, and we don't know how to put it together. It's all in French. Just like the French, some assembly required. We don't know what we're doing. He accepts the job. This is the purchase order for 8,000 cubic feet of stone from him. He's the man who assembles the base and puts the Statue of Liberty in the harbor. The guy whose country had wrongfully thrown him in prison, the guy whose country smeared him, destroyed him, abandoned him, he chose the principles over the people. Raoul Wallenberg is one of my favorite guys. Raoul Wallenberg's principles. His principles were, you don't round people up and kill them. You don't make them wear a star because they're different than you. His principles got him into trouble. His principles had him just a guy who was working at the embassy. He's in Budapest. He's Swedish. He finds himself standing on train cars, on top, full of Jews going to the death camps, taking letters like this. This is one of the last one he signed. This is a passport making the woman that received this an official citizen of his country, saying she does not have to wear a star and she belongs to my king. She is no longer a citizen that you can take. She's under my protection. Well, he would print these. They were printing them, printing and printing. And he would go to the train station and he would actually get on top of the train cars. And he was stuffing them in, just by the handful, stuffing them wherever he could. And he'd stand on top and he'd say, "Stop the train! You have all the wrong people. These are all my citizens. Check for their papers." His principles led him to do insane things, but things of love. After he issued this, begged him, "Please, Mr. Wallenberg, please leave." He wouldn't. He said, "The Russians are coming and they can't be as bad as the Nazis." He was last seen going into the arms of the Russians. Two ways this story ends. One, he was killed a few weeks later. And the other ending of the story is he died in the mid-1970s in a gulag in Russia. All for his principles. You know, I told the story of Bonhoeffer here a second ago with the napkin. My favorite story of Bonhoeffer is the last few days. He's actually being released. It's 15 days before Hitler. And he's getting ready to be released. He's in a truck, and the truck happens to break down. That's the only reason why he's now moved to another concentration camp. And he's put in this concentration camp, and he's put in the same cell with a double spy, a woman who was a prostitute, and the doctor who did the experiments on the Jews. He was the guy who would put Jews out in the cold and pour water on them, test hypothermia. He'd take them up in airplanes to see how hard you would go before you would pop. His crime? None of that. His crime was he released the information to the world. We still use that information in our hospitals. His crime was he released it to the world because he said, we have to save people. I don't know how many people he could save. And Hitler said, we're not saving people, we're saving Germans. So Bonhoeffer spent his last few days with that guy and a prostitute who were apparently extraordinarily vile. And he preached to them. He sang to them. He talked to them. As they led him to his death in the woods, as they executed those two, he was third. He wasn't freaking out. When they came to get him, he was there by the gallows, like this, praying. Not begging for his life. Joy. Bonhoeffer didn't lose. Bonhoeffer won. Yes. Bonhoeffer won. So did this guy. This is the sheet. This is the sheet, the piece of the bed sheet from Abraham Lincoln. These are Abraham Lincoln's bloodstains. Why did he die? Why did he die? He died because John Wilkes Booth, and I take pleasure in saying this, the famous actor of the day, John Wilkes Booth, the Leonardo DiCaprio of the day, hated him so much. Hated him so much. You're not going to end this like this. He wanted revolution. And what was Lincoln saying? Take your foot off their neck gently, send them home. With malice toward none and charity for all. But somebody's got to pay for this. That's why Booth killed him. Rage. Rage. How many people in this country are being primed for days of rage? We must be the other people. How many people did the Lord have to go to before he got to some of the people like Moses? Moses would not be my choice. Well, we got the guy who stutters. What, are you nuts? I've had people say to me, how can you be such a fan of Martin Luther King? How can you be such a fan of Martin Luther King? Don't you know that he was cheating on his wife, etc., etc.? Yep. Shame on all of us. How many people did the Lord have to go through that said, no, I won't do that, before he got to Martin Luther King? Before he gets to somebody who is absolutely imperfect. I got news for you. We're all imperfect. All of us are imperfect. But it was Martin Luther King who said, whatever. If that's what you want me to do, I will do it. Are we prepared to do that? Are we prepared to say, whatever, Lord, whatever you want? And know that the Lord would never tell us to do something out of hate or vengeance or rage. This is from a guy named Hugh Stafford in the Hanoi Hilton. This guy's one of my heroes. This is actually written on the back of a Vietnamese cigarette package. In the Hanoi Hilton, as they're pulling his arms off and doing all kinds of horrible, horrible things, he decides to take on his packages and cut them carefully and write everything that he needs to remember of what keeps him a man. Our country is being taken from us. It can't be taken from us. Our love for one another is being taken from us. It can't be taken from us. Who we are is being taken from us. It can't be. We have to give that away. As they are doing unspeakable things in the Hanoi Hilton, he writes, don't dread a suffering. That only makes it worse. Anticipate it, predict it, even exaggerate it in anticipation of it. Don't fight a neurosis or a symptom of one. It actually may be a friend in disguise, a mere symptom of a deeper disturbance rendered less severe by it. A neurosis may well be a vital protective shield. Detach yourself from it. Predict it, exaggerate it, laugh at it. It can safely and effectively be ridiculed away, but not torn away. Try to find meaning to every circumstance. Try to find meaning. Has anyone said, it's a tough crowd to say this to. It's a tough crowd for me to even hear it coming out of my mouth. Have any of us said to ourselves, what a blessing Barack Obama has been to us? I will tell you that I'm a better man because he's president today. I will tell you that I know more about American history because he's the president of the United States. While I wish it wouldn't have happened, and I'm not rooting for maybe somebody else that was his Secretary of State, I don't think I need to be that much better, Lord. I'm pretty cured I'd like to skate for the rest of my life, thank you. We are all stronger because of it. We are all stronger because of it, if we don't let hatred corrupt what we have. He said, he says, be aware of false pride. Don't expect too much. Perhaps in retrospect, it will show that it was meaningful enough just to have endured, to have survived, to have tried. Perhaps in the end, it's just as meaningful to look back and say, I tried, as much as it would be to look back and say, I succeeded. I just want to ask you, what do your scriptures look like? If that's what you're basing your life on, I don't care. Part of me believes religion is the problem. Faith is the answer. But as we go through, what do your scriptures look like? And I ask this for this reason. This is a copy of Mein Kampf, and this is from von Stauffenberg. If you know who General von Stauffenberg was, Valkyrie, Tom Cruise. The guy who tried to kill Hitler. Guy who's there. This is his copy of Mein Kampf, given to him by the Fuhrer. Okay. Look at the edge. It's not worn at all. It's perfect. I can open this book. It's never been opened. The guy wasn't a Nazi. Clearly was not a Nazi. And you don't need the whole I tried to kill Hitler thing to prove it. You can just look at his book. He's not pouring through it. He doesn't believe it. This is the Bible from King Louis. He loses his head. This is his Bible. It is perfect. Look at the gilding. It's perfect. Was he living what were his principles? Unless he had a photographic memory and read this once, it probably wouldn't come from this book. This with a broken back. The pages are almost falling out. It's marked in, it's written in. In fact, it has new translations in it because this guy was a linguist. And he said, yeah, this translation, he got it wrong, and I want to make sure that I correct it here. So he corrected the translation in his scriptures. Sometimes it's not the Bible because this is from 1943, 42, and it's really a cheap scriptures. It depends on who owned it. J.R.R. Tolkien. His scriptures have been read. His scriptures have writing in it. I will tell you that for many people in America, this is their scripture. This is dedicated, and I want to quote, if it's still in this edition, yes it is, lest we forget an over-the-shoulder acknowledgement of the very first radical from all of our legends, mythology, and history, and who is known in and who knows where mythology leaves off and history begins, and which is which. A tip of the hat to the first radical known to man who rebelled against the establishment and did it so effectively, at least he won his own kingdom, Lucifer. Really? I mean, I thought that was something that we could have woken everybody up from a dead sleep. You want to talk about things we hold self-evident? Hey, what do you think? Should we follow the guy who's dedicating his book to Lucifer? No, I'm going back to sleep now. Or this one. But this is your choice. This is your choice. Because the whole world is being redesigned. It is all changing. And I want to tell you at least who I am and who I believe Americans are. This is the actual lunar landing map from Apollo 12. This is the map that they used, and they're like, oh crap, don't land there. you'll see, if you looked at it closely, it has little X and O's all the way on all of the lunar surface. The X mean don't land there. The O's mean, well, give it a whirl. But what's amazing is that's from Apollo 12. And if you look at it, it's all taken in strips and individual pictures and then pasted together, because while Neil Armstrong was down on the surface, Grissom was up circling the moon, photographing. So that was made by somebody who didn't have a map while they were down there. So who are we? The world is being redesigned. We don't have a map. We only have a really good compass. As it is being redesigned, as it's being redesigned, have no fear. If we take a misstep here or there, it's okay. We'll make it, and there will be others after us if we stick to our principles. Let's go explore what's just beyond the horizon for the Americans. Let's see what the next chapter is that we have to write. Let somebody else follow the X's and the O's in the next generation. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Here's my quest to find